Okay, so
Okay.
people, we do have Mercy on stage right now. Mercy, please, can we get to meet you?
Okay. My name is Mercy. I was born in Nigeria, but my family relocated to the U.S. and I think I spent about 20 or so years there. And we recently, my family, my kids and husband, relocated to Accra, Ghana, and like in the last 2 months. So we're fairly new.
Like, I feel like the whole journey is really interesting. Like, it will be wild to think that a Nigerian moved to the United States and
Yeah.
then moved back to Africa, but didn't move back to Nigeria, but instead moved back to Ghana. You understand? So it's actually very interesting story that I would love to get into. And you've been in Ghana for like, what, 2 months?
2 months, but I've been coming to Ghana, I would say, probably in the last 2 to 3 years.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, and this is just us deciding to make this a permanent move.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, but I've been visiting on and off.
What exactly made you decide to move to Ghana? You and your family, what made you guys decide to move?
Honestly, we wanted to come back to Africa at
Hmm.
some point. Look, well, let's go back a little bit. I think I was one of those people who for a long time was like, oh, I'm not coming back. Like, there's really, not
Oh,
that there's
really?
no need, but I wouldn't live there like full time or anything.
Mm.
But then around 2019, 2020-ish, there was just so much happening in the world at that time. And I was like, okay, maybe I should consider this an option. And so we made our first trip, I think 2021 actually.
Oh,
And we really enjoyed it. And it was just so different from being in Lagos.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's what scared me away. It was, Lagos is so, whew,
Chaotic.
it's an adrenaline rush, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but Accra is so laid back, and it sort of suits my personality a little bit more. I don't like to feel like I'm constantly on the go. I like to
Mhm.
take my time and um, just it's just more easygoing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just take life easy, right?
yeah. So it just kind of fit, and I think we were here for about 2 weeks then. And by day 4 or 5, I was like, okay, I can kind of see this. If this is what it's like all the time, I can see
Yeah.
this being a fit. So we waited. When we went back to the US, within a month or so, we decided, okay, we wanted to try something a little bit longer just to kind of see. When you're on vacation, you're having a
Hmm.
good time, you're not really
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about the
yeah.
practical aspects of living somewhere. So we decided to come back and we spent 4.5 months.
Oh.
Yeah, at the end of 2022. We came, I think, September and
Mm.
left the end of January 2023. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's still the same thing. It's still
Oh,
calm. It's still that
yeah.
vibe, right? And then we decided to just come back and give it a
Oh.
go. Yeah.
That's like a heartwarming story. To be honest, I really admire like you and your husband's intentionality in like your life. Like it's actually you're not just acting out of impulse.
Yeah.
You visit first time and you came to like know if everything you experienced was like what it is. Because
Yeah.
obviously like living in a place and vacationing in a place are like contrast. They're like two different worlds, right?
Yes.
So it's actually very beautiful to see that, to even know, that Ghana is very consistent in its chilledness, okay? Because
Yes.
a lot of places that, people are trying to like migrate to, it's a lot. It's so chaotic, right? So I feel
Yeah.
like it's actually, it's nice to know that there's a place where we can just go, stay, and unwind. I feel like Ghana is that place
Yeah.
where you just need to calm yourself, get your thoughts on track, and
Relax. Yeah.
relax. How easy has it been settling in Ghana, having lived in the United States? Because I know that there are two contracts, like
Yeah.
two contracts. Yeah. So how's settling in been?
In terms of ease, I would say because of my personality, it's been
Hmm.
easier because not everything has gone according to plan, like to be honest. But
Yeah.
I before we left, I had a talk with myself. Like you're going to a completely new place, a different way of life, a different way of thinking. People are not
Yeah.
going to understand you all the time. It's coming from the States. We're sort of, I don't want to say opinionated, but we tend to say things how we see it, right?
Okay.
And I notice people, it's not even just Ghanaians, because Nigerians, they'll tend to get offended
Oh
easy.
yeah.
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 So I had to talk with myself, okay, you have to find a different way of approaching things. So when things
Hmm.
don't go well, I just take a deep breath and I'm just like, okay, you made this decision. You have to
Yeah.
live with it, right? So
Yeah.
just calm down. It didn't go well today. We'll try again tomorrow. just so it's helped a lot.
Hmm.
But it hasn't been difficult in any way in particular. It's just that for those first few months are going to be interesting because you're moving around a lot. You're still trying to figure out what your rhythm is. So that's kind of what I'm going through right now. Just still settling in, figuring out what I like and don't like, and
Hmm.
how I want to set up my
Your
space
life.
and my
Yeah.
life. Yeah. So that's sort of the only thing I'm going through right now.
Cool. So what can you say is like will I say like a cultural diversity that has hit you the most, having been there in the short while you've been there? In as much as it's Africa, right? And in as much as
Yeah.
it's not such a big country, they're actually diverse.
I think maybe the food.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think,
Uh,
you would think, all right, Nigeria, Ghana, there are lots of similarities in food.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm finding that there's so much that we don't know about Ghanaian food. There's actually a lot of diversity in terms
Oh,
of food preparation, different kinds of swallows that I'm not used to, or I hadn't
I didn't
even.
know that. Like this is
Yeah,
actually a discovery. I didn't know that.
yeah. So it's you. Everyone knows fufu and light soup.
Hmm.
Of course, the Jollof Wars. But there's still so many things I'm discovering in terms of food and culture. Culture, I think different tribes that, like there's a huge Hausa population here. I knew that, but I didn't know that. So,
Sorry, there's a huge what?
Hausa,
Oh, Hausa. Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah. And so meeting people who
Wow.
speak Hausa and just being able to understand here, and it's kind of cool, that we share those
Yeah, it
similarities,
is.
but then also we have our own differences. So
Differences.
yeah, I'm learning and I'm enjoying discovering new aspects of life here. But the food for me, because I'm a big foodie. I love to eat. So any opportunity to try something new, I'm there.
Yeah.
So I've been discovering different ways of preparing soups and different rice dishes, even. So that's been pretty exciting for me.
It actually is exciting for me hearing this, to be honest, because I mean, I feel like the blend is beautiful, right? The blend of
Yes,
similarities and the blend of differences is just
yes,
coming together. I
yes,
mean, you being there, you get to feel a sense of familiarity when it comes to
yes.
like we are similar to, and then you get to feel a sense of discovery when you find things that you didn't know about Ghana. So
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
it's just a beautiful mix, to be honest. I didn't know that there were Hausa tribes in there.
yeah, there
Amazing.
are quite
But
a
like,
nice community in Accra, actually. So the first time I went there, a friend took me because we were looking for mats. I'm in the middle of decorating,
okay,
and she didn't tell me. So when I heard people speaking house. I was like, oh my god, like this
I
is
know,
where are
right?
we?
Right?
So that was kind of
Wow.
exciting for me. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but I don't know. I'm not sure I was surprised because, we're so close to each other. People move around all the time. But that was pretty cool too. That was really cool
Mhm.
to me.
Aside the food, what would you say has been your like biggest cultural shocks? Like right from when you landed Accra Airport, very the first time you visited, right?
Honestly, I don't know. I think what struck me first was how quiet. The people are very polite.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Oh
don't.
my
Yeah, I
God.
think that
I
that
may
struck
just
me
come. I
first.
may be your neighbor. You never know. I may just come join you in Ghana. Because
I
what is
think
this?
that's what it was for me at first. I didn't really know how to take it. Yeah, before we boarded the plane the first time, I was like, okay, I have to be ready because going through Lagos for me, I was like, okay, I have to get ready to fight. And so getting here, and, and I didn't have that experience, I was
Yeah.
like, okay,
Like, I
what's going on
mean,
here?
whoa.
I was like, is this a setup? What's going on? But no, that struck me first. I don't know, they just don't like Wahala. They really
Uh-huh.
don't. They
Right.
don't like violence. So they'll rather just let you do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a different. That was different for me because I really came with the whole
You
where
know?
did this go?
No, no.
So
I mean,
that's different. That struck me as very unique. It's just not something I'm used to. So yeah.
even like, even in comparison to the United States.
Yeah, because I think in the U.S. we say again like we're very opinionated. Like you just say what you feel, and you really can't just do that here. It's like you have to put some thought into it. Like, why do I feel this way? It's not just
Yeah.
you don't work off your emotions as much, and so it's been really good for me to take my time. Like, why am I annoyed? What is it
Hmm.
about this
Yeah.
situation that's aggravating me? And then 9 times out of 10, I'll realize, oh, it's me. It's my own preconceived
So,
notions,
yeah, so
etc.
you're going through a self-discovery phase as well.
Yes, yeah. And so I'll realize, okay, what's annoying me is really so minor. I shouldn't have reacted that way. So I
Yeah.
find myself sort of going back into myself, like, okay, you can't
Yeah.
just blow off,
Hmm.
and then now you've made an enemy, or you're arguing for
You
no
know,
reason.
and then you may regret it after, right?
Yeah, so I'm taking a lot more time to say, okay, I don't like this situation, but what is it about the situation that I don't like? So now I can
Yeah.
identify exactly what it is that's aggravating me, and then I can approach the person more respectfully, like, okay,
Oh, no.
I was annoyed, but this is what it was about that situation.
Hmm.
And then you can discuss it like civilized people.
I know, right? I know, right? That I
Yeah,
think that's just, the environment just encourages you to be a bit level-headed. You understand? I
yeah,
feel that's why, in contrast to Lagos, people there are level-headed because when you go to a place where you're the only one who's fighting, you would have to ask yourself, like, what's
yeah,
going
like
on?
why?
You get
Why
it,
am I
yeah.
doing this?
And then in a case where you come to Lagos and you're the only one who's being level-headed, you're gonna ask yourself,
Yeah.
so I feel like you just tend to blend in wherever you are, and it
Yeah.
really just helps you. So, what would you say is that thing or the set of things that you absolutely love about Ghana? Like, what are the things that drew you to Ghana? What are the things that brought you to this very phase of your life right now where you and your family are really living in Ghana?
It's a bit of everything. Of course, the weather.
Okay.
We come from a place where you spend.
The hot weather, people are
Yes,
complaining.
because we're coming from a place where you spend about 4 or 5 months cold, and then you have to another 3 months you're thawing out, and the weather is just bipolar. But here, it's hot. You know what to expect. You go through the rainy season. So I wanted something more stable, right?
Okay,
And then
okay.
of course the people, the just the vibe of Ghana. And it's not just Accra because I've spent time in different regions, and it's all the same. It's similar, I should say, not the same.
Mm.
So it's the vibe, it's the calmness, it's the fact that I feel really safe here.
Ah,
Yeah, that for me, I can go out at night and I feel okay. I don't feel the need to constantly watch my back.
yeah.
Um,
That's very
and
important.
yeah, like in the U.S., we have the gun violence and all of that. So being here, I don't necessarily have those anxieties about going to certain,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't, when I go certain places, I don't think about, oh, know where the exits are in case someone starts shooting. I just feel like I can just relax
Yeah,
and
like
vibe.
just very slow paced life.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, that's what it is.
having been here so far, are there things that you've discovered that you don't necessarily care for about maybe the country, the people, the way of life, or something?
I think the people, I don't have a problem with the people or any of that, but what I think I didn't realize was um, the road networks. I
Oh,
feel
really?
like it could be better organized. For
Oh,
instance, going certain places, you have to go through. There's only one route, right?
oh,
Yeah, so it's little things like that. I mean, you can take side streets, but sometimes the side streets are not paved, and so it makes your journey a little bit longer. It would be things like that, and of course, living a slow life means that you can't get things done as
yeah, definitely.
fast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you bear that in mind as well.
yeah, so sometimes I forget where I am, and I'm like, oh my God, why is this taking so long? And then it's like, oh, okay,
Oh, okay,
chill,
yeah.
calm down. But it's little things, it's nothing major really, just the minor inconveniences that
Mhm.
you experience going
And
from
I'll
one
say,
extreme.
I'll honestly say that that's part of the beauty of the
Yeah,
whole journey. To be honest.
yeah. So for me, that's all it is. It's just the minor things. There's nothing really major, at least at this point in the journey for me.
Mhm.
I don't have any real beef
Babe,
with
right.
anything. Yeah, it's been good.
We were speaking about like diversity earlier, where you mentioned that you discovered a whole Hausa
Yes.
community here. But other than the Hausa community, is there any native language you've been able to pick up here and there? Because yeah, is there native
Yeah.
languages you've been able
Well, I would say I'm learning, but early stages of tree.
Actually,
So
yeah.
yeah, so I'm trying to be fluent within the next 6 months. So far,
Hmm.
it's not going so well, but I can do it. I can do it. So I'm
So is
working
it
on
like
that.
is it that it's difficult to learn, or you're just not a language person?
I wouldn't say it's difficult to learn. I think I'm just not a language person. I feel like maybe also with where I am in life, you get so used to one thing, and then now I'm kind of forcing myself to have the people around me speak nothing but tree to me.
Mm.
So that's been kind of helping. I can understand more than I can speak, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. So if someone
It's
says
always
certain
that
things,
that way. Yeah, it's
uh-huh,
always that way.
yeah, so I can understand more than I can speak right now, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I gave myself a timeline of 6 months. Then I
Okay,
can
I get
tell
that.
first. Yeah. So I think, yeah, I'm picking that up little by little.
Yeah, I did hear that learning the local language actually helps you in the
Yeah,
local market.
it
If you just
does.
Yeah, if you speak tree to someone, if they're supposed to sell something for 5 cedis, they could sell it for like 3 cedis
Three, yeah.
because they feel like you're part of the community. So yeah, 6 months. We'll come back 6 months and see how much you've
Yeah.
learned. So like, how would you say that Ghana and the whole relocation process has shaped you or shaped your mindset? And what advice do you have for people who would be considering leaving their home countries,
Mm,
regardless of where it is, right? Leaving their
yeah.
home country at the moment to like relocate and just explore other parts of the world.
I think for me, it has made me better. Like I said, I'm more calm. I can think things through now and identify where
The
certain things
problem.
are coming from. Yeah. Um, my advice to anyone is please don't just pack your bags and
Yeah.
go. Take your time, visit, visit again if you can for a longer period before you
Yeah.
decide that it's for you, because I've seen a lot of people who were here when I
Mhm.
first came who just kind of packed their bags because of COVID, and
Mm.
they ended up going back because it wasn't quite what they expected it to be. But I would encourage anyone, just take your time. Ghana is not going anywhere. Africa is not going anywhere. But make sure it's really for you, because it's not for everyone. There are little
Mhm.
things here that it's just, you might not be able to handle. So,
Mm.
and I think maybe having experienced Nigeria
Mm.
has helped me too in a lot of ways, because I understand why some things are the way they are. And so I don't focus on those things. I just sort of, what is it that I can do with what I have, and I just do it, and I let the rest go. A perfect example. I know you didn't ask for an example, but
No, we would
I
appreciate
had,
it.
okay. So I'm trying to decorate, and I'm
Okay.
having sort of an issue getting my furniture
Mm.
delivered. So it's little things like that. If you're coming from a place where you can have same day delivery, I'm going on week 2. Okay? Now, a lot of people would have lost their cool, and those little things build up. But I'm just sort of like, okay, it'll show up
Mm.
one day, right?
Mhm,
Um,
definitely.
it's just, it is what it is. So you kind of have to make sure that you can go with the flow here and just not lose your cool a lot, because it can be overwhelming if when you're not used to this, environment. Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. I'm gonna take that advice personally as well.
Yeah.
Because we may never know. So basically, I think that's all the questions we have for now. Yes,
Yeah.
for now. Well, there's this thing I always do. I call it, the fun touch. Okay. I mean, we've been serious and all that. So I just want to throw in this very fun question.
Okay.
Very fun, very controversial. Can you guess what it is?
Is it the jollof question?
Yes, it's a Jello question. So
Okay.
yeah, basically, I try to like close off with this. So you've
Yeah.
had a good taste of the Nigerian jollof, and you've had a good
Uh-huh.
taste of the jollof. Okay,
Yeah.
so what is your unbiased opinion? Okay, I don't want you to be biased in any way. Which one suits your palate? Which one do which one gets you?
I know everybody could expect me to say Nigeria, but it's neither Nigeria nor Ghana, to be honest.
Oh, that is, oh, you didn't give us that.
No, it's not.
No.
Honestly, for me,
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria makes really, really good jollof.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have, our base is so different, because we add the tatashe and the. But I also think it depends on who cooks it, too, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then what part of the country the person is from, etc. But I think Senegalese jollof.
I'm gonna give you a round of applause for that response.
I'm gonna think. I don't like to get involved in that war.
You
No,
don't
no,
like
no, 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 no,
Wahala. You don't like Wahala.
no, no, no. I
But
just like to
honestly,
watch it from afar. It's funny to me because
honestly, I'm telling you, like, even this question is actually not that deep. And gratefully, like, all the times I've been asking these questions, people in the comments don't actually take it that seriously, because at the end of the day, right, a food that has been serving you is everything to you. And even if no, even if the other person doesn't understand it, it really
yeah,
doesn't concern you. You feel me? And
yeah,
as I always say, and it's really, really true, like, it's really important. A food is only good, it's only as good as a cook, right? So, in as
absolutely.
much you may have eaten Ghana jollof or you may have eaten Nigerian jollof, who cooked it? Can they cook it? Was it
Yeah,
well prepared? Did you have the authentic taste? So, in a way, we would really not be able to tell which is better. It's just okay. I
yeah,
had this and it was a nice meal. So yeah,
and it
yeah,
also
but
depends on your preference, right? For
exactly as well.
We
Mm,
love a good spicy meal in
mm,
Nigeria. And sometimes here it's not as spicy, but it's really, really flavorful. So I
mhm.
can't really say. It's like,
Yeah,
who cooked it?
yeah. What works for
Yeah,
you? Yeah, what
yeah,
works for you?
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much, Marcy. We've come to the very end of today. interview today's session. Trust me, your journey is definitely an inspiring and fun one. Like it's really fun. Just the thought of like making the decision to like relocate to a whole
Yeah.
new continent, to a whole new state, to a whole new country is really fun. And I want to be Chandy on the move someday, as you
Yeah.
are Mercy on the move. So thank you so much. Please, can you share your social media handles in case anyone would love to follow your journey through?
Yeah, it's Mercy on the Move on all platforms. So, but I'm really active on TikTok,
Okay.
Instagram sometimes, but mostly TikTok. But it's Mercy on the Move everywhere.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, obviously,
yes.
I'm going to display it on here in case you guys didn't get
Yeah.
that. See you on the move. Thank you so much, and I really hope you have the best rest of your day. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.